Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Irkutsk for the MSEM format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 2 match between Cyber, who is playing red-green Dreamsight Aggro, and Pip, who is playing 5-color Control. So Pip's deck is essentially a 5-color control deck that, unlike our previous 5-color decks, which use somewhat gimmicky or limiting lands, just has a natural 5-color mana base with Golden Glade and its snow counterpart, Northern Holdout. It basically, as a result, gets to run the best interaction, best win cons, best card draw, basically the best of all worlds, with the minor trade-off just being occasionally weak to land destruction. It even gets to run colorless utility lands. And the best counter magic in the format, Anti-Magic, which is just basically better counter spell when you have a fixing land like Golden Glade. On the other end of the table, we have Cyber, who's playing a Dreamsight Aggro. So Dreamsight is a card which says if you have more than 100 cards in your library, you draw 5 cards. It's typically a card that is used in controlling shells as a card advantage engine. You tutor it up with a bunch of redundant tutors, and control decks have a bunch of redundancy in their answer suites. Cyber is innovating this time. I guess they thought, hey, aggro is basically redundant. You just have a bunch of cheap creatures, and no matter which of them you draw, unless there's a significant difference in quality between them, it really doesn't matter for your deck's plan. So the deck basically just plays like a standard aggro deck, and sometimes just high rolls into drawing 5 with a Dreamsight. Right now, though, Cyber does not have a Dreamsight. Instead, turn 1 orchestrated the Storm Surge. It looks like turn 2 is going to try and run out an Advocate of the Hunt. Nope, okay, he's going to run the Demolitionist Divisor out first. Pip is going to anti-magic that? Yeah, just going to instantly anti-magic that. Still gets hit for 3 in the face with the Storm Surge. Should be fine for the next few turns, just holding up Crystal Wave and Exeunt. If Cyber plays a threat that doesn't have a powerful ETB or Recursion, Pip can just let it resolve, and then Nareba plus Golden Glade Exeunt, and then cycle the Torchlit Shipyard to just get something better. Otherwise, just double Crystal Wave is really strong. Okay, so Cyber's going to Performer of Desire and then pass, and Pip, interestingly, is going to Crystal Wave that. I'm surprised. I feel like if I was Pip, I probably would have just Exeunted it and then cycled the Torchlit Shipyard. Okay, but is instead just going to play the Torchlit Shipyard tapped, now has, can still hold up Crystal Wave, but now has the way more impactful card advantage of Worlds Away, which will allow Pip to draw 3 cards if Cyber doesn't play anything worth countering here. And I think, so if Cyber plays a Red Pelt Heart, I think, yeah, you just counter that. Otherwise, Advocate of the Hunt, Pip can just wait, play the Worlds Away, and then Exeunt it on her own turn. Yeah, this is definitely the problem with a Dreamsight deck when you get wrong-halved. You definitely don't want to be drawing 5 lands in an aggro deck. So Cyber's just going to drop an Advocate of the Hunt and then pass. And then, yeah, I think Pip is just going to Worlds Away on end, refill back up. 2 Imperial Ports and an Exeunt is not super great. The Imperial Port, though, will let Pip get the last color that she needs for the Deem Unworthy. Yep, so it's going to Imperial Port, probably grab a black. Snow-Covered Swamp, yep, coming down. And now has access to both Crystal Wave and Exeunt, so can Exeunt the Advocate of the Hunt in response to a creature coming down while also countering it. And ouch, 6th land for Cyber. So yeah, he's going to try and run out the Red Pelt Heart. I think Pip is probably just going to Crystal Wave this, and then Exeunt the Advocate. Okay, Crystal Wave, so yeah, so he's going to Crystal Wave countering the Red Pelt Heart. Okay, Cyber's going to play the Shock Fetch untapped. This will let Advocate of the Hunt buff up. Okay, he's going to fetch out 2 Pain lands, and then immediately tap them. Advocate of the Hunt goes off again twice, so it swings as a 4-1. Unfortunately, Pip does have the Exeunt, so all of that life loss was for nothing. And now Cyber's out of resources while Pip has all of the answers. No counter magic, notably, but Exeunt plus holding up Deem Unworthy is probably enough. Also can Imperial Port on end to just thin out. Ooh, and Peak Point Presence from Cyber. That is a creature. It is also a creature that will immediately get Exeunted, but it is a creature. Okay, and on end, yup, is going to cycle the Imperial Port for a land. Importantly, this does mean that Pip will now have enough mana to Nereba if Cyber doesn't do anything important, which is why I think Pip should exit right now rather than waiting till her turn, because that way she doesn't have to waste mana playing exit on the peak point. But it looks like Pip is just going to wait it out. It is willing to take the 2 damage from the peak point and then just Nereba anyways. So yeah, okay, so Pip's just going to take the 2. Cyber's just going to play an Avatar of Basat. And on end, Pip gets to Nereba for a whopping 2 cards. Worlds Away in a Northern Holdout still hasn't hit a win con. Has the Ignition Ritual if things get hairy. But yeah, okay, it looks like Pip is just going to... What is this? Okay, yeah, Ignition Ritual X equals 2, just killing the peak point of the Basat. And yeah, Cyber's just going to concede there. And even if Cyber didn't, Pip has the Worlds Away, and at that point, Pip is probably drawing into a win con. Yeah, I think that's the problem. Just like, Pip's deck is just incredibly powerful in terms of being able to churn out card advantage and just having all the answers. You really just need to, like, out-tempo it, or it needs to have some sort of way of disrupting its strong mana package. But other than that, the deck is just very consistent, very strong. Let's look at sideboarding to see if either player has stuff that can help in this matchup. So from Cyber's sideboard, I think the only thing that might come in is the Earth Feeder Worm. But in general, I think Cyber's main deck is as teched out as it can be for this matchup. And in a 140 card deck, sideboarding decisions don't matter that much. And yeah, on top of that, I don't think anything from Cyber's side is that impactful. I think at this point, you're just going to have to give it a pass from Cyber. Meanwhile, on Pip's end, I think Flesh to Rot and Shaldron's Rage are definitely coming in. Also probably Children of the Clouds and Stand Unassailable. This entire thing is just a potent package versus aggro. And can probably take out stuff like... I think the Demon Worthies are a little bit too expensive here. You probably take out some of the counter magic because you don't care about the stack. And then you just go full removal plus wipe plus life gain and just drown Cyber's deck. I think going into Game 2, Pip is even more overwhelmingly favored than she was in Game 1. And looking at these hands, I don't think that's going to be changing. Cyber is on the play, but doesn't have a turn 1 creature, is instead probably just going to opt to Scorch Face. Oh no, can Orchestrate Storm Surge, which is basically the same thing, just a little bit delayed. On Pip's end, though, Northern Holdout turn 1 into turn 2 just... Oh, I was going to play the Snow-Covered Island first. Interesting. But yeah, basically just turn 2, Pip can hold up anti-magic. Pip can also have Thunderwave plus Exit available. If Cyber doesn't do anything, can consult the Dewdrops. And even if Cyber plays a creature, Pip can just let it rock and then has double Ignition Ritual to deal with anything. Okay, so Cyber is going to run out the Warfield Excavator. Storm Surge going face, and Warfield is generally good because it can grow outside of Thunderwave range in a single attack. But other than that, it's not super great because of how slow it is. It is arguably our best Goyf variant. So Pip is just going to take 3 from the Warfield, which is now buffed up to a 3/4. I'm surprised, if I'm going to be honest. I would have thought that Pip Thunderwave there, but I guess it's just is willing to take the damage. My thought is that like taking the damage in this matchup is a lot more impactful, not because of the potential of burn, well that too, but also because Pip needs to have the life to be able to spend to Ignition Ritual, because the only wipe that she has right now is life paying based. And yeah, main 2, Cyber's gonna run out the Sarah of Copper Groove, just a bear, but it's very good versus creature decks. It has incidental pumping. Also, Cyber happens to have naturally drawn the Dreamsight well, which is going to make Pip's attempts to outgrind Cyber much harder right now. Okay, Pip just going to play a Plains and then pass. I think the problem is that this Warfield Excavator just grows larger and larger each turn, and Exit could theoretically kill it, but Cyber has other creatures, so Pip needs some way to just kill... I guess if Pip has enough mana to, like, Ignition Ritual plus... Oh, okay. So, in response to Cyber cracking their fetch, Pip is going to Thunderwave, and I'm assuming from that floating black is also going to Warfield Excavator. So it's going to exit the Warfield Excavator. Okay, so that definitely takes care of the immediate creature problem. Cyber can now, though, Scorch Face and then Warfield Excavator down. Or actually might just want to Dreamsight well now because Pip can't have counter magic up. That is a reasonable, Dreamsight well, and then you probably, by drawing 5 cards, you probably draw into a 1-drop creature, so you still get board presence. Actually, yeah, that makes the most sense. Okay, yeah, so Cyber is going to run out the Dreamsight well. And yup, did hit a 1-drop in Avatar of Basat. And then next turn can either Reprising Bard, can basically do a combination of either Warfield, Demolitionist, or Reprising Bard, two out of the 3 of those. Okay, so on end, Pip is going to cycle the Imperial Port, grab a Snow-Covered Swamp, hits another Exit, so good timing, but is just going to pass for now. I think once Pip hits a 5th land, Zanagan coming down makes things really difficult for Cyber, because the life gain plus constant point-and-click removal is just a pain in the butt. Cyber does have the opportunity to, the turn Zanagan comes down, Scorch plus Damning Flames it, but that's basically Cyber's only answer. Okay, so Cyber's going to swing with the Avatar of Basat, and then main 2 Demolitionist Deviser plus Reprising Bard, because both of them are very good versus wipes. Okay, yeah, Demolitionist Deviser being run out. They suspect that Pip is going to anti-magic the Warfield. I'm surprised that Cyber didn't play Reprising Bard there, if I'm being honest. And no, Pip is going to let the Warfield rock. I guess he's planning to just untap an Ignition Ritual. Oh, doesn't need to. We'll just be able to... Yeah, that's a Windmill Slam the Flesh to Rot. So takes 2 from the Demolitionist Deviser's LTB. But yeah, now Cyber, all of Cyber's creatures die. Cyber basically can't play creatures for the next few turns. So Pip has a long window in which she's going to be able to safely draw lands and wait for Zanagan. And Cyber currently doesn't have enough burn to kill Pip before the Zanagan comes down. Interesting. Cyber could play Reprising Bard and then use it to grab back a burn spell. So so the real thing is Cyber is 1 burn spell away from being able to kill Pip. Yeah. So if Cyber had 1 more burn spell, wouldn't have the mana to kill Pip this turn, but would be able to do it next turn if Cyber top deck another Scorch or orchestrated whatchamacallit. Okay, so Cyber is playing the Reprising Bard. Oh, and is just going to get back Dreamsight well with the Reprising Bard. Yeah, 2 mana, immediately flashback your draw 5 is not bad. Okay, so drew into Performer of Desire, Demolitionist Deviser, and then a bunch of lands. None of which is really great right now. The Demolitionist Deviser is a bootleg shock right now. But yeah, so Cyber can only deal a maximum of 8 damage here. So needs some way to deal at least 4 more. For now is going to Damning Flames plus Scorch, and then burn Pip for 6. I feel like I would have saved these just because, so if Pip draws a land, okay, I was going to say if Pip draws a land, then Cyber has no way of stopping the Zanagan. Of course, Cyber doesn't know of the Zanagan, but I feel like since those burn spells don't do anything, like since Cyber doesn't have a clock right now, and I feel like using them then, even though it may feel like, oh, I need to use the mana, I don't think that was the right play. And yet another creature from Cyber. Yeah, Cyber's deck is mostly creatures. Okay, so Cyber's going to sacrifice the Forgotten Shrine to make a clue and then immediately crack it. And there's a Damning Flames, so now is only 1 life off from killing Pip, because Demolitionist Deviser plus Damning Flames is 5 damage. Okay, he's just going to pass for now. But unfortunately, again, this is once again a game of will Pip draw the land. If Pip draws a land, Pip lands Zanagan, and I think at that point it's a foregone conclusion because Pip just drops another Flesh to Rot and just points Zanagan at face. Cyber doesn't have an answer. But no, draws a Lucian instead. Lucian's first +1 is actually very dangerous to use here. Okay, so he's going to play the Lucian. Probably just use his second +1 to give him an extra loyalty counter. Okay, so on end, Cyber's just going to Damning Flames, I hope face. Yeah, okay, so he's going to Damning Flames face. So now it all comes down to, can Cyber draw another burn spell? And there's the Storm Surge! Yeah, that's it. Just Storm Surge, Demolitionist Deviser. Or doesn't even need the Demolitionist Deviser, just Storm Surge face. And that's it. We're going to a game 3. And oh my god, Pip had everything there. except Pip didn't have an answer to Dreamsight well. And eventually Cyber just drawing those 10 cards, even though Cyber didn't have like that much burn in their deck, they were just able to dig for the last few dregs of it. That was a crazy game. And I had counted Cyber out like turns and turns ago. But yeah, like Pip got unlucky with not drawing the 5th land, and Cyber just took it full advantage of that. Okay, so going into game 3, Pip this time on the play has Anti-Magic, Double Consult, Exit, Children of the Clouds, pretty stacked hand. In contrast, Cyber's hand is not as stacked, does have multiple good 1-drops in Edith, Avatar, Arpesh, and then Minister of Zealots is pretty good. Impulsive Plan for like getting rid of some of these lands once Cyber has a few. But for now, Cyber's just going to Edith. Edith is pretty good right now because can't be exited, can't be, and can only be killed by Thunder Wave of Pip's 1-mana interaction spells. Edith is also very resistant to the wipes. Okay, so Pip once again does not, is kind of low on lands, really only has these 2. And Consult the Dewdrops will not help with that because you can only grab non-creature spells, I believe. Yup, just a non-creature card. Oh, Consult is much better than I realized. It's not, so you can grab lands with it. Okay, that makes Consult much better here. So Pip is just going to take 2 from Edith, and then drop an Arpeshian Champion. Avatar of Basset as well. Yup, Turbo Start right here from Cyber. Okay, and on end, yeah, Pip is going to Consult the Dewdrops, grabs a Northern Holdout, and that's another land, and that's another source of perfect mana, basically. So I think the only problem is this is all of Pip's 1-mana spells are effectively 2-mana spells if you don't want to cast them with another spell. I think here, though, Pip could easily Thunder Wave Edith and then also exit a creature. Like, that's very feasible. Or if Pip wanted to, if Pip needs to anti-magic something, could just anti-magic and then use one of the floating mana to cast an Exit or a Thunder Wave. At that point, I think the Thunder Wave would be better. Anti-magic would be particularly devastating on the Impulsive Plan because it basically 3-for-1 Cyber. Oh wait, it doesn't. The exiling is not is not an additional cost. Never mind, I'm dumb. So anti-magic would not be especially effective on Impulsive Plan. This Rousing Rubble from Cyber, though, is interesting. It's inevitability, and it's strong inevitability at that. And it's good specifically because I'm pretty sure Pip would have sided out her Deem Unworthies in this matchup. So Pip really won't have removal that can hit the Rousing Rubble, unless, of course, Cyber animates it with nothing else on the... or if Cyber animates it and Pip holds up mana, Pip can Thunder Wave or Exit it. But that's on Pip's own turn, Pip won't have any answers to it. And the wipes will basically miss it as well. Okay, so Cyber's going to 0 Edith, and once again, so it's going to swing in with Avatar and Edith. Can't swing in with Arpeshian Champion because of its champion text, which makes it so that it can only attack or block alone. So I think in response here, yeah, I think Pip should just, I guess, double Exit Thunder Wave is the plan. Okay, so yeah, added 2 blacks, so it's going to Thunder... Okay, he's going to Thunder Wave the Avatar. That's interesting. I would have Thunder Waved the Edith, but I suppose it doesn't matter when you're just going to double Exit anyways. And yep, it's not really how you want to do it in Control. Really would have preferred a wipe there. But hey, sometimes you just triple 1-for-1 your opponent and just don't care about it. Problem, of course, is that Children of the Clouds is now offline because Cyber does not control 2 or more non-white creatures. Main 2, Cyber's going to Impulsive Plan, exiling both of the mountain lands. Draws into, wow, 3 more live cards. Is probably, yeah, it's just going to immediately Arpeshian Champion and then play the Rousing Rubble tapped. And then next turn, I think you'd probably play the Advocate of the Hunt and start going, because the Rampant Summit will just keep ticking up the Advocate of the Hunt. Meanwhile, Pip is in a bit of a bind. Is probably going to have to anti-magic here, but would really love to Consult so that she can try and hit a wipe. Or, like, just a win con. and then just use this what is essentially a wipe to start Zaniganing. And yep, here comes Advocate of the Hunt from Cyber. Notably not tapping the Rampant Summon for this, because probably he's gonna, Advocate of the Hunt. And then now can just tap the Rampant Summon for the life loss. Arpesian Champion swings in for 3. So I think the reason that Pip didn't counter the Advocate is that she's hoping to just consult the Dewdrops into a wipe. Also, letting Cyber have 2 creatures means that in a pinch, Pip can just Children of the Clouds. Oh, and grabs a Worlds Away with the Consulted Dewdrops. I guess getting card advantage from your cantrip is fine. And there's a 5th land, so now can hold up Anti-Magic and a Worlds Away. Children of the Clouds X equals 2 plus Anti-Magic, but that one's less impactful. Or could just go full Children of the Clouds X equals 4. At that point could probably kill everything that Cyber has. Okay, Flourishing Crevasse from Cyber. This pumps up the ARP champ. And interesting is gonna play Sarah of Coppergroove. In response to the attack is gonna Worlds Away, draws into Golden Glade, Worlds Away Lucian, and then just takes the 4. That's painful. I feel like, leaving the 2 hanging mana from Anti-Magic is not great. But I guess you just immediately Anti-Magic whatever this is. And I think it's going to be a Demolitionist Divisor, which is an extra, because Demolitionist Divisor does not really get hurt by wipes. Oh no, it's just going to end. I guess Cyber is trying to play around wipes right here, and just be like, okay, I'm not going to overextend. And that is a lifesaver of a top deck from Pip. Stand Unassailable is going to be much appreciated. So immediately going to run that out, no question. And is only 1 mana off of being able to coalesce it. And I think coalescing the Stand Unassailable basically just ends the game for Cyber. But for now, it's really just a question of Pip's deck is being very mana greedy right now, and also just needs a way to wipe to recoup the board presence loss that she currently has. Because, okay, let's see. So, assuming, Cyber drops Demolitionist Divisor or something, then, let's count, so Arpesian Champion plus Advocate plus Sarah. If you pump up Sarah, she swings for 6. 6 plus 2 plus 4, that's 12. That's a lot of damage. It's not enough to kill Pip, though. I was thinking of, because the max that Cyber can do this turn is 15 with Distant Thunder plus Pump Sarah plus Advocate of the Hunt plus ARP Champ. It's still going to do a whopping 13 damage this turn. Oh yeah, I forgot Arpesian Champion can only attack alone. Never mind. Okay, so only swings for 7, so not that crazy. Or sorry, 9. I don't know how to count. This is very evident. It does take out the Stand Unassailable and more, and Pip is back to being in a situation where it's wipe or die. On end, it's just going to Worlds Away again, and there's an Ignition Ritual. Gonna have to pay 3 life for it and put herself in double bolt range. If I'm Pip here, I think I main phase... Oh no. Is this passing? Ignition Ritual is a sorcery. I guess it's just playing a Children of the Clouds and then block? That works, I guess. I don't know that my line would have been right, but I think the line I would have played is Worlds Away on main, hope to draw into a land plus Flesh to Rot. If not, I still have 3 lands for Ignition Ritual. But I guess Pip is trying to avoid playing the Ignition Ritual right now because she doesn't want to put herself in double bolt range and get burned out like last game, and is thinking that Children of the Clouds is a good enough way to save up life anyways. Okay, so once again, Cyber's just going to pump up Sarah, swing in for 9. This would be lethal, but Pip is going to Children of the Clouds, only X equals 2, and then I guess chump each of these. Neither of them have trample. So yep, just chumps, and can now still has the option of Worlds Awaying on end. I think, Cyber pumping all of this mana into the Sarah. Sarah is a good, mana sink. The problem is because she doesn't have any evasion, that Children of the Clouds really just got Cyber there. And Worlds Away number 2, this time does hit a Xanagan and a Shaldron's Rage off the top. And also Pip has 7 mana, so Pip also has the option of Stand Unassailable-ing. Has to discard 1 card, though. Is going to discard one of the Ignition Rituals. But I think basically whatever Cyber does, in response, you just Shaldrin's Rage. In response to pumping Sarah, Shaldrin's Rage. In response to Cyber playing another creature, wait for the creature to resolve, Shaldrin's Rage. Ooh, okay, he's going to play a Wayfarer's Shrine. Advocate of the Hunt pumps everything. Arpchamp naturally gets pumped up 1. Then crack the Wayfarer's Shrine. Arpchamp gets pumped again. And then can ramp and summon again to pump up the whole team. Okay, he's going to animate the Rousing Rubble. That is a new line. And then is going to swing in. But unfortunately, Shaldrin's Rage kicked is just going to kill all 3 of these creatures. If only Advocate of the Hunt pumped Toughness as well. But it does not. And yeah, now I think this game is solidly in Pip's favor. Actually, needs a removal spell for the Arpesian champion. Or actually, no, doesn't. Really, Pip can just stand unassailable, coalesce it from grave. And then I think at that point, Pip just wins. No? Okay, is going to Lucian -3 the Arpchamp. Gains 1 life, but that's not that much. And then can pass, hold up anti-magic, and then if that's not needed, just rolls away for more card advantage. Oh my god, what a top deck from Cyber! The Dreamsight well! Okay, he's going to try and bait out counter magic here. Pip is going to let the Minister of Zealots resolve. Okay, and then the Cleric token has haste, so can kill Lucian here. But if you're Cyber, do you just not play the Dreamsight well right now? Yeah, okay, so he's going to play the Demolitionist Divisor. I guess he's trying to bait out counter magic from Pip before the Dreamsight well. And I think that makes sense because given Pip's current situation, her best play is probably stand unassailable next turn, which will leave her tapped out. Okay, so Pip is going to anti-magic the Demolitionist Divisor. And yeah, next turn, if Pip does stand unassailable this turn, I think she still wins whatever Cyber draws with Dreamsight. Or an alternate route is she really could just Xanagan. Yeah, that was 4 mana. So yeah, can just Xanagan, shoot the Minister. Now, still holds up anti-magic for the Dreamsight well. Xanagan gains back life, and Cyber needs 2 bolts to be able to kill Xanagan this turn, otherwise she's out of range of killing. So Cyber just needs to Warfield Excavator. Okay, I guess trying to bait out more counter magic. Pip is just going to let this one resolve. And then here comes Dreamsight well. Yeah, Pip just had the second anti-magic, and now I think Pip has solidly won this game. Yeah, just drop the Flesh to Rot, Xanagan face. Oh, it's just going to pass? Huh. Not even going to bring back your stand unassailable? Okay, so Cyber's going to swing Warfield at Xanagan? I suppose has to, because Xanagan being allowed to live is just a death sentence for Cyber. Okay, in response is going to Children of the Clouds. And yeah, Cyber's just going to concede in the face of that. Oh, phew. And yeah, those are some crazy games, and the problem really is, it's like, if you don't draw Dreamsight well, it is an under-average aggro deck. If you do draw Dreamsight well, it's just insane. And the problem is, unlike the control versions, it doesn't have the space to run tutors that allow you to find Dreamsight well consistently. So you're kind of just playing to the odds. And I think if our aggro power level was flatter, I think it would be worth playing Dreamsight aggro. But otherwise, it's just really hard to justify it over our more focused aggro decks. Meanwhile, on Pip's end of the table, we saw how she just completely had complete control over the board and made some in my opinion were tough decisions to let creatures or cards resolve in order to cover all bases. Because I think in some situations, there's definitely the knee-jerk thing of, okay, now I just stop my opponent from playing thing, so you just run out interaction. But Pip just watched, waited, and went for the kill. And I think that's how you play control. So I think this was just a super cool matchup. While I'm sad to see Dreamsight aggro is not living the meme dream and winning sets, at least it took a game, and it did so in spectacular fashion.